Get a cup, get a cup, get a cup. Hello, hello. Welcome back to another video on Fresh Cut Slim. Today we're looking at Wile E. Coyote versus Tomcat, Looney Tunes versus Tom and Jerry, Death Battle by Death Battle. Now, this came out recently, like a week ago, and I'm actually not sure who's going to win this. You have Wile E. Coyote, who's smart, but he's not accurate. Like, he's never been able to catch the Roadrunner. Now, is it because he's not smart enough, or the Roadrunner's too smart, or he just has really bad luck? So I'm not sure, what's the actual cause of him not being able to catch the Roadrunner here. And then you have Tom and Jerry, or in this case, it's Tom. And he is also, but he's kind of friends with Jerry, right? Like, so if I'm going to compare these two together, who could possibly win this? I don't know. The original link's in the description, and you can go subscribe to Death Battle if you like this. Also, subscribe if you're new.
Wile E. Coyote, the fastest and furriestest of the Looney Tunes.
Tomcat, the powerhouse pussycat from Tom and Jerry.
The fans voted for it and we're here to deliver.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would
Clearly, Wile E. Coyote's winning if it's weapons.
win a death battle. In tales told over shimmering campfire by the tribespeople of North America, there was no figure so cunning, so bold as Coyote. To the Miwok, he was a Prometheus who stole fire from the heavens to give to humanity. To the Sewetmuk, he was a foolish trickster who could die and return to life.
And to the brothers Warner, he's just a poor dumb schmuck who can't catch a break.
To this day, the great coyote stalks the American Southwest, hunting his indefatigable prey, the Roadrunner. And this modern Wile E. Coyote is driven by...
Oh, I like how you have this here. This whole big name for Coyote or whatever. This is what they did in Looney Tunes. They also have this huge definition for the coyote.
by a ruthless entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah, and it drove him straight off a cliff. He'll chase that bird-shaped happily ever after to his own inevitable undoing. Such is the lot of the common man.
You might not expect it from an anthropomorphic canine Job, but Wile E. was born the son of world-famous hunter Cage E. Coyote. His father raised
This is crazy. I did not know this kind of lore.
him from infancy to hound his avian adversary and forbade him to speak until he tasted victory. On the face, an easy task. Coyotes
Wait, what? So he can speak, he just can't until he catches a bird?
are incredibly adaptable predators, capable of hunting in both rural and urban environments.
They're also speedy little demons. They can sprint at up to 43 miles per hour, though that's cold comfort when that blue
I'm pretty sure that is faster than a Roadrunner.
meeping bastard can make beams of light look stone still, or outrun a car that was moving fast enough to travel through time.
Frankly, it's incredible that Wile E. manages to consistently keep up with his prey at all, but he does.
No, really, it's actually stated that only a, quote, tiny little extra burst of speed separates the coyote and the Roadrunner. Heck, Bugs Bunny himself.
Wait, so how fast is the Roadrunner? Okay, let me look it up. Ha! I was right! The Roadrunner can reach speeds of 20 miles per hour, while the Coyote, as they just said here, it goes up to 40-something miles per hour. The Coyote's faster.
Himself needed to take super speed supplements in order to move fast enough to outrun Wile E.
But almost as fast isn't fast enough. Fortunately, Wile E.'s got an endless assortment of gadgets, gizmos, and reams of blueprints to make up the difference.
He's got your classics like dynamite, anvils, and spring-loaded boxing gloves, along with heavier artillery like heat-seeking missiles, a 10 billion volt electromagnet, and a friggin' trebuchet, a Reddit favorite.
Many of which he invented himself and uses in excruciatingly detailed schemes.
So he's very smart, but like, here's the issue is he smart but not smart enough, where all these tools and things he has don't actually work properly, or he's just not smart enough to use them? Is that's why he can't catch the Roadrunner? Or is his luck just so bad that he's not able to catch the Roadrunner because he's just, his luck against him? And in that case, when he goes against Tom, is he going to have all these crazy tools, but he's going to be too stupid or unlucky enough where he's not even going to be able to do anything to Tom? In that case, Tom's going to win.
That inevitably go awry. Despite being a self-described super genius, Wile E. has an officially measured IQ of 3.
That's the same IQ as...
What? Okay, I think Tom's going to win then. He's just really dumb. 3. I think if your IQ is around, I want to say if it's like 70, you're officially medically R-worded. you know, as they used to say. I don't know what it is nowadays for that, but like you have like a, you know, if you're like 70 or lower, you're officially like mentally handicapped. So if you're 3, no wonder why everything he does doesn't work.
As a cactus.
Okay, the test results were fake, but he's still an idiot.
So why not let a
Oh, it was
soulless
fake?
corporation do the hard work for him?
Acme sells any product that you can imagine, and Wile is their most devoted customer, contributing up to 99% of its multi-billion-dollar revenue.
Thanks for the inherited wealth, Pops. Oh, don't worry, I'm spending it all in one place.
He's got an Acme Book of Magic, Acme Clone-O-Matic, Acme Death Ray, Acme City in a Box, Acme Universal Remote, which can pause.
It sounds like Acme might be sabotaging these things. That way they can continue making their profits. Because if Wile E. Coyote is successful, he may no longer order Acme products because the bird's dead. And if he's no longer ordering their products, Acme company's going to lose all of their profits. Does that not sound like it makes sense?
Let's fast forward and rewind a person through time.
Too bad half the stuff Wiley uses is intentionally sabotaged because Acme's board of directors is exclusively Roadrunners.
Wait, what? And maybe my theory's right then. Well, I guess it makes sense that the Roadrunners wouldn't want other Roadrunner being killed. But also, if the board of the directors is actually sabotaging everything, that maybe they also are aware that if Wiley's successful, they're going to lose all their profit.
My man cannot catch a break, but he sure can take some punishment.
No matter the severity of his failures, Wile is still attuned and can bounce back from just about anything.
He's been sliced, stabbed, squashed, exploded, melted, blasted into a constellation, and overall verbed for the last 87 years straight.
So he's definitely almost indestructible. Now, is Tom also indestructible? Because I think Tom, I've seen him get smushed, and then he turned into like a flat, going downstairs. I've seen that kind of stuff. I think he got run over by a steamroller in one of them. So in that case, they're both kind of indestructible. I think Wile might be a little bit more indestructible from this list.
Without ever actually dying, he once got fully disintegrated into ash and popped back up like it was nothing.
What?
Similar to the immortal Coyote of Sewetmuk legend.
He's also shattered the fourth wall tons of times and even left the comic page entirely to catch the Roadrunner. Ah, so close.
Believe it or not, there is actually a biological reason for these abilities. Looney DNA. Every toon's got it, not just the Looney ones.
Oh, so that means, oh, is Tom and Jerry Looney Tunes? That's not from the same company, is it? Tom and Jerry. I can't think of who makes it. It's not Disney.
And it's what lets them survive fatal damage up to being fully erased off the page, essentially dictating their personal slice of reality to whatever is funny.
Like how gravity only affects the Coyote when he looks down.
Toons are immune to the laws of physics as we know them.
That's why Wiley developed a counter to this immortality, the Looney DNA Dissolver, which leaves Toons vulnerable to fatal wounds the same way we are. Yet again, so close. You can't say he hasn't tried everything.
It was Wiley's experience as a veteran Toon that landed him a job at Acme University as department chair of the School of Hard Knocks, teaching up-and-coming Tiny Toons how to use their abilities.
Okay, so now...
See, I like the older stuff that's hand-drawn. I like this new stuff that was just shown here. This is all computer animated for it, and I'm not really the biggest fan of the new, computer animated cartoons and whatnot. I like the older stuff.
And just like Naruto's jutsus, Toon Force works like an actual power system, with more experienced Toons like Wile who are more powerful than their younger counterparts.
And that means Wiley should be capable of replicating feats and abilities performed by any other Looney Tune, like traveling between different mediums or altering the plot of the cartoon he's in.
And my favorite was the time Plucky Duck used Marvin the Martian's matter transmogrifier to suck up the entire universe.
And then suck up the animator animating his universe.
What?
And then suck up the animator's universe for good measure.
Wiley's got a cushy 10-year job teaching that stuff. Impressive for an abject failure at his life mission. He's helped stop a meteor from destroying Earth, beat the Monstars in basketball, and even, whoa, snap, caught the Roadrunner! Oh, wait, never mind, so damn close!
According to 1977's Tweety and Sylvester issue 67, Wile E. Coyote has attempted to catch the Roadrunner 4,776,842 times.
You have better odds of winning the lottery at this point. See, at that point, I'll give Wile E. Coyote this. He's got endurance and What's the word called for just never giving up? Never gonna give. Tenacity? I don't think that's the word. I don't know. But he's definitely not a quitter.
Scaling to the present, that's over 10 million failures.
That takes dedication, or maybe self-destructive stubbornness. Too blinded by bird lust to see the forest for the trees.
But Acme's intentional malfunctions and Coyote's recklessness don't account for all of his catastrophes. There's something else, something grander, otherworldly, standing in the way of our furry friend's salvation.
See, wouldn't the Roadrunner, since it's a Looney Tune character as well, also have Looney DNA? And therefore, then it's these two Looney Tunes with their Looney DNA going at each other, and therefore, couldn't just the Roadrunner just escape based on this Looney DNA? Doesn't that make sense?
Whiz, there's no other way to say it. God is just plain out to get this guy.
And by God, we mean the closest thing that exists for Coyote and Roadrunner. Chuck Jones.
The guy that created him and helped forge the Looney Tunes into how we know him today.
Originally meant to be a parody of earlier chase cartoons like, well, Tom and Jerry.
Wait, was it after Tom and Jerry? I didn't know that.
Jones established several rules for their animated shorts that superseded Coyote's reality warping tune abilities.
Rules that cover his obsession, faulty products, and the fact that no outside force, not even the Roadrunner, is to blame for his defeat. Just him.
While other creatives have altered this formula in the decades since Jones's departure, these rules have effectively made the Coyote's defeats cosmically ordained.
God nerfed Wile E. Coyote in all our years making death.
Now, these rules apply, though, to the Roadrunner. They don't apply to Tom. So if Wile E. Coyote is going against Tom, these rules don't apply. So he might actually be able to do some damage to Tom then, because the rules are not applied to Tom, right? I think right now it looks like Wile E. Coyote might have the upper hand.
Battle. We have never seen a handicap like that.
But what else can you expect from our fanatical furry fail son? He's the Sultan of Slapstick, the CEO of Second Place, the swing and a miss superstar. As long as he picks himself back up and dusts off the ashes, that'll never be all, folks, for Wile E. Coyote.
All right, that was pretty cool.
The year was 1939. War raged in Europe between the British Tommies and the German Jerrys.
Wait, that's what Tom and Jerry's based on? Wait, who is Jerry then? Wait a minute.
1939. War raged in Europe between the British Tommies and the German Jerrys.
The Germans are Jerry's, and the British are Tommies? So this cartoon is saying that the British could never defeat the Germans? Is that what?
As the beleaguered English made their miraculous escape from the German encirclement off the coast of Dunkirk, one might have called the battle a game of cat and mouse?
Oh wow, is that actually where their names come from? I'm looking this up.
Regardless of their names' origin, William Hanna and Joseph Barbera's infamous cat and mouse duo became the undisputed kings of slapstick comedy.
The formula is simple, and we all know it. Tomcat chases Jerry Mouse around the house. Brutal.
Okay, so it's probably not to do with the war then.
Oh, bone shaking! I felt that in my balls. Violence ensues, and Tom is reprimanded by Mammy Two Shoes.
Who is, let's say, very much from the 1940s.
Very stereotypical. Wait, is this Disney? Who made this?
And if you're like me, all you wanted to see was Tom wipe that smug smirk off that little rat's face. Despite my well-documented hatred of
I love this scene.
cats, even I've got to cringe at years of propaganda to convince us to side with the filthy, flea-ridden rodent over man's second best friend. Oh, big yawn.
House cats like Tom are actually some of Earth's most successful predators. They can run up to 30 miles per hour, leap 6 feet high, and despite being commonly perceived as nocturnal, they're actually crepuscular and hunt in the dawn and evening.
Tom.
That's what that means? Crepuscular? Yeah, I don't know why they always made you try to root for Jerry when Tom is actually not man's best friend, but, you know, Tom's job is to get rats, right? That's any cat's job is to get rats. If you put them into, like, a barn or whatever, that's what they go after is rats. And then rats carry, you know, diseases and whatnot. Tom is the good guy here.
Specifically is a British Shorthair. They're strong, stocky Roman cats bred to withstand harsh conditions. And for Tom, harsh conditions is an understatement.
Tom has collected a crazy assortment of weapons in his war against mousekind.
So who would win then? Tom versus Wile. They both have crazy amounts of dynamite. I think Wile, well, if he's going to use all these things, if they're all still rigged, like if he's still buying them from Acme and they still tamper with everything he gets, then nothing's gonna work. And then in that case, even if the Looney Tunes laws are not applied to Tom because he's not in the rules, that all the Acme tools are still gonna be broken. So then Tom's probably gonna win.
Sure, most of it is the stuff you can find around the average American household, like baseball bats, lead pipes,
And guns! Lots and lots of guns. But he's got wackier things like a magic wand, a robo-cat, vanishing cream, and a smart cap that gives him all the knowledge in the world.
I'm partial to the Sword of Light and Dark, which severs you from your own shadow, or the Rewind Remote, which can move your victim backwards through time.
And you
That's pretty cool.
can't forget the cat car and cat jet, spelled with K's of course, but just the cat part.
Tom's arsenal is heavily improvisational, which fits his quick thinking in fights over Thanksgiving turkey. Though he often loses his bouts with Jerry, it's not usually because he's dumb or incompetent. Rather, he's just genuinely outplayed.
And even in defeat, he's one tough son of a gun. He's been crushed, blown up, had every bone in his body broken, shattered, melted, and
That's the Looney Tunes logic. No, but I don't know if he's Looney Tunes. But that's the cartoon logic, right? So I actually don't know who's going to win this, because both of them seem to be indestructible. Even if Wile E. Coyote is allowed to attack Tom and be successful, that doesn't mean the Acme products are going to work properly. So I have no idea.
vaporized to dust and survived.
Well, mostly. Tom actually has kicked the bucket multiple times, but little known cat fact, he has 9 lives, as established in the episode Heavenly Puss.
Oh, Wiz was conducting some different kind of research when he stumbled on that episode.
Very funny. Even if Tom starts to use his lives up, he has a potion that just restores them.
Or he can physically go get them back from hell, where all cats go.
Extremely hardcore for a toon, but there isn't much of a limit to what Tom can do. He can clone himself, levitate in the air, make his imagination real, and even break the fourth wall and enter the real world.
Yeah.
That's straight up like Looney Tunes crap. Let me just see here. Okay, so it's Hanna-Barbera is the company that makes this show. So he doesn't have Looney Tunes logic or physics, I guess, or DNA, but he definitely has something similar.
If you only watch the classic cartoons from the 40s, you may be in for a shock. Tom and Jerry gets buck wild, much like the actual inspirations for their names. Thank you, Google.
Oh, you're still on this?
Dodoy Whiz. They were actually named after the 2 characters in Pierce Egan's delightful life in London, Jerry Hawthorne and Corinthian Tom. It was adapted to the stage with the title Tom and Jerry, which later became a catch-all term in 1800s England for young, drunken rabble-rousers.
One could, in
So what does that mean? Well, I don't even understand what you just said.
fact, say that many rabbles
It's based off British people? What?
roused the times Tom destroyed a planet-busting asteroid, lifted up the sun, and was blown up into a constellation. And he was just fine. Just a bunch of stars now, but he's okay.
He taked an explosion that launched him through time to the Stone Age and has run through space at massively faster than light speeds.
That shouldn't be a surprise when he and Jerry have been at each other's throats for over 80 years now. But what
Whoa. Wait a minute, and the Wile E. Coyote was that only 40-something years?
may surprise you is the fact that at the end of the day, they're actually friends.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like I've seen them. They're like friends. So it's kind of just like them trying to catch each other, like playing a game, but they're still friends, it seems.
And they've worked together tons of times to save the day, like when they helped a little orphan girl, Robin Starling, find her way home. Oh, that's a nice end to their story.
Don't you believe it? Now is when we have to talk about Tom and Jerry Chase. Long ago, the warrior god, Lord of Sichuan, Erlong Shen, battled the tricksy and indomitable Mouse King atop Peach Mountain.
This might sound a little bit arrogant. Not arrogant, ignorant. Is Sichuan a place? Because I thought it was a sauce.
Leading the goddess Celeste to declare the two the strongest warriors in the realm. And they were, in fact, Tom and Jerry. They were even stronger than Devil Tom, who repelled corruption by the darkness. This mysterious, malevolent force threatened to consume the Tree of Life, whose branches encompass all of time and space. Banding together, these warriors use the star element to dispel the darkness and save the universe.
What?
What the fuck?
Well, it may
Yeah, what are you talking about?
sound completely insane, it is. Chase is a Chinese mobile gacha game whose lore is not entirely in keeping with the spirit of the source material. However, it is officially licensed.
Oh, Warner Bros. Are the ones who make this. So, wait, Warner Bros. Makes this, but I thought, wait, don't Warner Bros. Also make Looney Tunes? So therefore, if that's the case...
by Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment, which means we...
So wait, Warner Brothers own Hanna-Barbera? So does that mean that Tom actually has Looney Tunes logic? Or a DNA?
have to include it in our research.
So that the gods may grant us mere mortals some heavenly push!
No!
Friendly rivalry aside, though, Tom has actually managed to catch the little rat fair and square a few times.
By my count of the original shorts, 19 times.
I could watch them on repeat forever. Too bad.
I'm actually thinking Tom's gonna win this. I think there's still too much, Wile has way too much going against him. I think Tom's gonna win this.
And he's still a filthy feline. The only kitty I truly respect is named after booze.
Well then, you're in luck, because the Tom and Jerry of English literature later became the namesake for a famous Christmas cocktail.
Because there's no better way to get absolutely trashed than with good old Tom and Jerry.
Okay, we're on to the battle part, I think. I think Tom's gonna win this, and here's my reasoning. Although it seems like both of them have Looney Tunes logic, and I think they're both owned by Warner Bros. I keep on saying logic, it's DNA. Wile Coyote has Acme, and they're sending him defective crap. Now, the reason why, as it was stated, why Wile Coyote couldn't take the Roadrunner is because of, it's in the rules, so he can't do it. He cannot get the Roadrunner, and that's his fate. He cannot do it. So that doesn't mean that those rules apply to Tom. So he's free to be able to get Tom. But the logic I'm using here is, if Tom and him both have Looney Tune DNA, they're basically both indestructible, but Tom has caught the rat 15 times, or 16 times, or whatever it is. And all of Wile Coyote's tools are defective because they're being messed with. That means Tom has the upper hand in terms of at least tools, because they probably all work. And Tom at least has some kind of skill catching the prey. I'm thinking Tom's gonna win this.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Assholicus. Feline catus perpetuus victimus. That was a pretty good scream. Yeah! How do you do that, the Tom scream? I don't know. Meepus. Something schmuckus. You foolish furball, you cost me my dinner! And his voice. That was a good scream. Ah! See? The freaking tools are against him still.
Come on, you apes! You want to live forever!
Oh, he took the vanishing drink, right? So Fat Boy was one nuke, is Fat Lady a different one? What is this? Oh no! He's gonna have to get all of his lives back in hell. I actually really like how this is animated. It is very cartoonish. I like that a lot. Surprisingly, the Acme tools so far haven't been backfiring that much. Like the fist thing kind of did, but not really. But it's working a lot better than I expected. Maybe he phoned Acme and he didn't say anything because he can't speak. But maybe they somehow know that he's not after the Roadrunner this time. That's so creative. I love it. This is like the best death battle I've seen. This is awesome. He's zooming in. Oh no, this is it. This is it. Since they both have the DNA, you have to take it out of one of them. And then whoever still has it is gonna win. Uh-oh. Get out of the way! Is it a tie? I don't think I've ever seen them have a tie.
Wile E. Coyote, super genius.
Wile won! That's crazy.
Oh, thank God one of them actually died this time. I mean, no! Animal cruelty, no!
Considering coyotes eat cats, I'm not surprised.
While both Cat and Coyote were incredibly powerful, they weren't literal gods who could snap their problems away. They had limitations and weaknesses that could be exploited, especially by each other. Let's first talk their stats.
Both were strong enough
Alright, let's see if I agree, because I initially thought Tom was gonna win this. So let's see if I agree with this.
to contend with universe-threatening phenomena, but comparing Wile to Plucky Duck, Looney Tunes can not only destroy their own universe, but their animators as well.
And while Tom could move faster than light, Wile could keep up with the Roadrunner, who could outspeed a car fast enough to travel through time. That's immeasurably fast, and much faster than Tom. Wile gets the edge in stats.
Wile's
Okay, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. But barely. Barely.
arsenal was a bit better too, believe it or not. Even eliminating the devices that have been shown to malfunction, he still countered everything Tom had.
Even with the defective stuff, he's whatever Acme is still sending him still good enough to get the job done. Okay. I was thinking every device that was being sent isn't working. So I guess maybe if a portion of them are working, then maybe, you know, he is getting his money's worth.
Biggest being the Looney DNA Dissolver, which could render Tom's cartoony healing factor moot and end the fight.
While Tom has never been shown to have Looney DNA specifically, the concept clearly has nothing to do with actual DNA molecules.
Looney Tunes have been erased completely and still returned, so it's clearly something more fundamental to their essence.
And since the Dissolver works on any tunes, not just the Looney ones, it should apply to Tom. But considering how much of a screw-up Wile is, it wasn't a sure bet. Hell, it could have backfired, especially considering how much more competent Tom is.
When it came to intelligence, Wile's engineering and scheming
Oh, Wiley's definitely smarter for that kind of stuff, I would say. But yeah, I guess it actually does make sense that he's smarter because he's not allowed to capture the Roadrunner, right? By the universal laws. So he might be smart, but he's just not allowed to capture.
genius were often defeated by his own ego and stubbornness. Tom, on the other hand, was consistently more flexible, pragmatic, and victorious in his fights. He definitely gets the edge there.
See, I wouldn't say it's the arrogance of Wile E. Coyote that allowed him to lose all those times against the Roadrunner. It's because the universal law is that he can't capture the Roadrunner, so it doesn't matter what he's gonna do or what he tries, he's not allowed to. He will not be able to capture because that's the law. So, I still think Wile's probably smarter. I know Tom is smart too, but I'm thinking Wile's smarter. He's just not allowed to capture Tom.
Oh, and Tom has one other big advantage. He doesn't have God nerfing him.
And that's the big question.
But that only applies to the Roadrunner, not to other, things or creatures that Wile E. Coyote might be against.
Was Tom capable enough to benefit from Wile's narrative and force bad luck and see the DNA dissolver backfire against him?
That bad luck is a core part of Wile's character as a cartoon. So let's call it his, toonliness.
To find the answer, we dug deep through the bowels of Looney Tunes lore and ended up in an unexpected place. Space Jam.
Where Wile yet again fails against the Roadrunner, but against the villains of the movie, the Monstars, he actually scores.
And scores again in the sequel, more than anyone else. But according to Chuck Jones's rules, that shouldn't happen, right?
Throughout his
No, because it's only against the Roadrunner the rules apply. See, the reason why I thought, for the most part, that Tom was going to win was that all the tools that Acme were sending were defective. But in the case where they aren't, or in the case where not all of them are, or in the case where Acme somehow knows that he's not going against the Roadrunner and sends okay tools, then I would say Wile E. Coyote has the upper hand. But when I initially did my calculation, I was thinking that the tools were all going to be defective.
entire history, Wile's cosmically ordained failures only occur when he's specifically chasing the Roadrunner, or other tunes the plot bends around like bugs, because that's what Chuck Jones's rules were written for, Coyote and Roadrunner cartoons.
And even then, looking closely, they've been broken a few times throughout the decades, even during Chuck Jones's tenure.
Without the universe nerfing him, there's no reason to think Wile couldn't eventually land a hit with the Looney DNA dissolver.
Especially when the only reason it failed was because of the Roadrunner's intervention, a direct violation of Chuck Jones's limitations on the Coyote.
And especially when it's the only thing that either one had that could kill the other.
Despite lacking Wile's narrative impediments, and despite having a better track record overall, Tom ultimately had no surefire way to kill Wile, whereas Wile's...
That's true then, because he still has the, unless Tom got a hold of the DNA gun, then Wile is still going to end up, it'd be like a tie, I guess.
superior strength, speed, and Looney arsenal ensured his victory.
Wile gave one hell of a chase and left Tom Jones in for a rematch.
The winner is Wile Coyote.
Okay, I think you've convinced me. You're probably right. Anyway, I hope you guys like this video. This was fun. This was fun. The battle part, the actual animated battle, was the best battle I think I've seen because of how funny and silly it was. I actually really like that. I think Warner Bros. Needs to try to do something like that, where they bring in, I guess they have Bugs Bunny, but it'd be fun to see them bring in other big characters and do fights. But anyway, hope you guys like this. I think I'd rate this out of a 10. Probably like an 8.2. I really liked it. I definitely do agree now that Wile Coyote is the winner. As I said, I thought Tom was going to win this, but if the Acme tools are not tampered with, then yes, it makes sense why Wile Coyote would win this. And I would even say, because you gave the intelligence to Tom, but I'm actually saying Wile Coyote's intelligence is probably higher, because he can create all these contraptions and everything. You got to be quite smart for that. It's the only reason they don't work is because it's ordained that he cannot get the Roadrunner. But that doesn't mean he can't apply that logic or his actual intelligence effectively to other things, and that's what he did here. But yeah, anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Make sure you go subscribe to Death Battle if you're new to subscribe, and yeah.